Are you exhausted from putting out fires? Most people spend their lives reacting to problems, always busy but never moving forward. Stop being the passenger. Strategic thinking is the transformative skill that lets you stop surviving the day and start designing the life you want. Most of us live our lives caught in a kind of high-speed loop. It starts the moment we wake up. The phone pings. The boss emails. The car makes a strange new noise. Every single day arrives with a list of things demanding our immediate attention. Urgent, critical, must do now. We call this tactical thinking, and it feels productive. It feels necessary. It's that exhilarating rush you get when you finally clear your inbox, or the satisfaction of fixing a minor crisis just moments before it became a major disaster. For a few brief moments, you feel like a hero. But let's be honest, what happens immediately after? The floodgates open again. The next wave of demands washes over you. You haven't moved forward. You've just managed to stay afloat. This is the siren song of urgency. Like the mythical sirens, it calls out with a seductive promise. Solve this now and everything will be okay. But it lures us away from our true destination. It keeps us rowing frantically in a small circle. We spend all our energy putting out fires, and we never have the time or perspective to ask the truly essential question. Why is this house always on fire? Think about it. You deal with a constant stream of low-quality clients, but you never create the marketing system to attract high-quality ones. You spend every month stressing about bills, but you never take an hour to automate your savings and investing. You feel exhausted and busy, but somehow, you end the year in the exact same spot you started. That feeling? That constant, low-grade stress. That's the byproduct of a life ruled by reaction. You are constantly responding to external stimuli, letting the world dictate your schedule, your focus, and your ultimate trajectory. You are playing defense, 24/7. You are trapped in the day-to-day. This is why we need to talk about strategic thinking. Strategic thinking is not just a skill reserved for C-suite executives or military generals. It is a transformative, fundamental human ability that enables you to stop being the passenger in your own life and start being the pilot. It's about understanding that there's a massive difference between efficiency and effectiveness. You can be incredibly efficient at putting out those daily fires. You can be the fastest, most effective firefighter in the world. But if those fires are distracting you from building the skyscraper you always planned to build, what was the point? Strategic thinking empowers you to ask better questions. Instead of how do I clear this email backlog, you ask, what systems can I implement so this backlog never happens again? Instead of how do I survive this week, you ask, where do I want to be in 5 years? And what must I do today to start marching toward it? Strategic thinking is the simple, yet profound, act of stepping back from the immediate noise. It is the conscious decision to trade the momentary rush of solving a problem for the deep, quiet satisfaction of building a life where that problem doesn't need to exist in the first place. It is how you move from merely reacting to external problems to actively designing your own internal solutions. It's the essential shift we need to make to stop surviving and start achieving long-term success. And the first crucial step in making that shift? It's deciding to trade the compass you've been using, the frantic little needle that points only to urgency, for a complete detailed map of the future you intend to build. Which brings us to our second point, trading the compass for the map. We realized we're all too often using a broken compass. The needle just points to the next urgent fire, the next distraction. It tells you where you are right now, but gives you zero information about where you're going. It keeps you tactical, focused only on the immediate terrain. Strategic thinking begins the moment you decide to trade that limited compass for a full map. A map gives you what a compass can't: perspective, context, and a destination. Perspective is the ability to zoom out. When you're stuck in the day-to-day, every single problem feels like a mountain. But when you zoom out, when you see the full map of your life, your career, your finances, you realize that most of those daily mountains are actually just small, temporary speed bumps on a much longer road. This is the core discipline of strategic thinking. Focus on the big picture. What does focusing on the big picture actually mean? It means defining your ultimate success before you define your next task. Imagine you decide to drive across the country. The tactical thinker gets in the car and worries about whether they have enough gas for the next town, or which fast food restaurant they'll stop at for lunch. These are valid concerns, but they're not the main goal. The strategic thinker starts by defining the destination. I'm going from New York to San Francisco. Once the destination is set, the tactical concerns fall into place easily. If the goal is San Francisco, stopping for gas in Boston is an obviously bad decision. The big picture, the long-term destination, now acts as a powerful filter for every short-term choice. Most people make decisions based on what feels easiest, fastest, or most immediately gratifying. They choose the path of least resistance. Strategic people choose the path that aligns with their desired future. They constantly ask, is this specific task or decision moving me toward my San Francisco? Or is it leading me down an appealing but ultimately irrelevant detour? Focusing on the big picture gives you unbelievable clarity. When you have a strong 5-year vision, a clear financial goal, a specific career milestone, a defined state of health, you gain 2 critical superpowers. You know what to say yes to opportunities that directly accelerate your journey become obvious. And more importantly, you know what to say no to distractions, low-value activities, and tempting detours lose their power because they clash with your primary objective. Saying no becomes easy because you have a higher, clearer yes already established. Think about legendary athletes or world-class artists. They aren't disciplined just for the sake of discipline. They are disciplined because they have an absolutely crystalline picture of the finished product, the championship, the masterpiece. And every single daily training session, every single hour in the studio is viewed through that powerful, strategic lens. They see themselves in the future, and they let that future self pull them forward. Your goal isn't just to be busy. Your goal is to be effective. And effectiveness requires a long-term plan. It demands that you stop making one-off, isolated tactical choices and start viewing your life as a single, cohesive, long-term project. Strategic thinking is the act of stepping outside the frame of your current life so you can edit the canvas. It's the ultimate empowering realization. The life you want to build must be designed, not just discovered. But a map is useless without roads. Once you have the destination, you need the infrastructure to get there efficiently. You need the automated engine that turns effort into effortless results. Which brings us to our third topic: create systems, not solutions. So you've traded that chaotic compass for a clear map. You know your destination. But how do you start building those first critical roads? How do you take that big picture vision and translate it into actionable daily systems? That's the bridge between knowing what you want and knowing how to get it. To help you with the crucial first steps, I've created the 30 Days to a Better You ebook. It's a structured 30-day program designed to help you install those foundational strategic systems. From optimizing your focus to automating your goal progress, so you can stop wishing and start building. Download your copy today. Get the step-by-step blueprint and kickstart your journey from passenger to architect in just 30 days. We've established our destination, our San Francisco, by focusing on the big picture. But now we have to talk about the road we're building to get there. The tactical thinker, the firefighter, is always rushing to solve a problem. They're great at putting out a blaze, but they move on without ever checking the wiring that caused it. They're addicted to one-off solutions. The strategic thinker, on the other hand, asks a different question. How can I create a system so that this problem never occurs again, or so that the solution is automated? This is the shift from solving a problem to designing a system. It is the fundamental difference between doing the work and designing the work to do itself. The concept here is the domino effect blueprint. When you set up a system, you are essentially setting up a chain reaction. You put the effort in once. The blueprinting, the setup. And then, every single action you take is simply the act of tipping over the first domino. The rest happens automatically. Think about the classic example of personal finance. The tactical solution: every month you open your bank account, look at what's left, and try to manually transfer some money into savings. You might forget. You might talk yourself out of it. Your success depends entirely on your willpower and memory that day. The strategic system: you set up an automatic transfer to move 10% of every paycheck into a separate investment account the moment it lands. The system doesn't rely on your willpower, your mood, or your memory. The decision is made once, and the work is done forever. The money is saved before you even see it. The strategic system makes success inevitable. The tactical solution makes success optional. The beauty of the system is its leverage. A small amount of setup effort yields massive, continuous returns. It's what frees up your mental energy from the daily micro-decisions, allowing you to focus on the big picture. Strategic thinkers deeply understand Senge's 11 laws of systems, a classic concept in systems thinking. Particularly, today's problems come from yesterday's solutions. A quick fix, a tactical solution, often just addresses a symptom. It temporarily relieves the pressure, but it doesn't solve the underlying structural flaw. In fact, it often shifts the strain somewhere else in the system. Guaranteeing a new, often worse, problem will pop up later. This is the definition of running in place. The strategic mind avoids the quick fix and commits to the deeper, sometimes more uncomfortable work of designing a durable process. They look for the leverage point. That one, small area where a change can generate a disproportionately large positive impact on the entire structure. By creating systems, you are automating your success. You are turning one-time effort into effortless, consistent forward momentum, allowing you to focus your limited energy on new strategic challenges rather than repeating old, solved tasks. Now that we have the destination, the map, and the infrastructure, the domino effect blueprint, we need to talk about the fuel that powers the entire operation: the intelligent use of everything we have available. We have the destination, the map, and we have the delivery mechanism, the blueprint. Now we need the fuel. But a strategic thinker doesn't just spend fuel, they transmute it. They practice resource alchemy. Alchemy, historically, was the magical quest to turn common base metals into gold. In our modern strategic context, it's the skill of looking at your finite resources: your time, your skills, your network, and your attention, and using them in such a way that they create more value than they started with. The tactical person treats resources as consumables. They spend time, they spend money, they use up their attention. They are constantly looking for their next withdrawal. The strategic person treats resources as capital. They are constantly looking for ways to invest them to generate an exponential return. They ask, how can I use this resource today to create more resources tomorrow? The most powerful resource you have is your skill stack. Tactical thinking encourages you to learn a skill just to solve the problem in front of you. Strategic thinking encourages you to learn a skill that will compound over time. Think about learning to code, or mastering public speaking, or becoming fluent in financial literacy. These skills aren't one-time fixes. They are force multipliers. They create value that grows non-linearly. For example, learning financial literacy skill A allows you to make better investment decisions, which frees up your mental energy and time resource B, which you can now spend on mastering a new technical ability skill C. The combination of A, B, and C suddenly makes you qualified for a higher level role, giving you a better salary and a stronger network. You didn't just spend time, you created leverage using the principle of compounding knowledge. Strategic people don't chase the highest immediate paycheck. They chase the opportunities that offer the highest skill compound rate. The tactical person tries to manage time. The strategic person tries to leverage it. If you spend an hour answering emails, that hour is gone forever. If you spend that same hour designing a system like we discussed in topic 3 that automatically filters and prioritizes 80% of your incoming email, you have just bought yourself back hundreds of hours over the next year. You took a disposable resource 1 hour and turned it into an enduring, valuable asset, hundreds of hours of free time. This is why strategic individuals ruthlessly protect their focus. They understand that attention is the ultimate alchemical ingredient. If you constantly dilute your attention by switching between low-value tasks, you create zero momentum. If you dedicate focused, uninterrupted time to your most important strategic goals, you produce extraordinary results that last. Finally, strategic thinking is about viewing your relationships not just as casual connections, but as an integral part of your resource blueprint, your network. A tactical approach to networking is only reaching out to someone when you immediately need a job or a favor. It's a desperate withdrawal. A strategic approach is continuously contributing value to your network without expecting an immediate return. You connect people who can help each other. You share valuable insights. You build genuine goodwill. The magic of this resource is that it doesn't get depleted when you use it. It often gets stronger. When you invest in your network, you are investing in a decentralized system of information, opportunity, and support that will be there to accelerate your journey years down the line. It ensures that when a new strategic opportunity appears on your map, you don't have to build the bridge alone. Resource alchemy, in essence, is the practice of intentional use. It's the realization that you have everything you need right now to begin creating exponential returns. You just need to stop spending and start investing. We've now seen the full picture. The map gave us direction, the blueprint gave us efficiency, and resource alchemy gave us the power. What does all this effort and intentionality lead to? It leads to the ultimate freedom, from passenger to architect. We started this journey by acknowledging the constant, exhausting treadmill of reaction. The feeling of being a passenger in your own life, always responding to the external demands of others, driven only by the siren song of urgency. But now, look at the journey we've taken. We've moved from frantic reaction to deliberate creation. We traded the compass for the map, gaining the perspective of the big picture and defining a clear destination. We built the domino effect blueprint, committing to systems that automate success and eliminate repetitive problems. We mastered resource alchemy, leveraging our time, skills, and network to create compounding value, not just consumption. This is the ultimate payoff of strategic thinking. It's the shift from being a passenger, someone who adapts to the journey thrust upon them, to becoming the architect of your destiny. An architect doesn't start by laying a random brick. They start with a vision, a blueprint, and a deep understanding of materials and leverage. When you adopt the strategic mindset, you gain a similar profound sense of agency and control. When a problem arises now, you don't panic. You don't ask, how do I fix this fire? Instead, you calmly use your tools. You check your map and ask, Does this problem even matter to my ultimate destination, or is it a minor, ignorable detour? You check your blueprint and ask, what structural flaw in my system allowed this issue to happen, and how can I upgrade the system so it's resilient next time? You check your alchemy and ask, how can I use the pressure of this challenge to refine a skill or strengthen a key relationship? This isn't just problem solving, it's strategic evolution. You are using every challenge as feedback to improve your personal design. The passenger's success is often defined by luck, timing, or sheer, exhausting brute force. The architect's long-term success is the inevitable outcome of superior design. When you have a well-designed system, when your resources are compounding, and when your decisions are filtered by a crystal-clear goal, success stops being a frantic uphill climb and starts feeling like sailing with the wind at your back. You aren't just achieving short-term wins, you are building long-term, sustainable achievement. Strategic thinking gives you the peace that comes from knowing you are not just adrift. You are intentionally steering your vessel toward a specific horizon you chose. You are replacing the chaotic rush of urgency with the deep, quiet confidence of clarity. The beauty of this skill is that you can start practicing it right now, today. Don't overhaul your entire life overnight. Just pick one area. Your finances, your health, your most important professional goal. And ask one simple strategic question. Am I reacting to what happened yesterday, or am I intentionally designing what needs to happen 5 years from now? The moment you ask that question, you pick up the pen. You become the architect. You begin the most transformative project of your life, the deliberate, purposeful creation of your own future. It's time to stop just putting out fires. It's time to start building your masterpiece.